Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Response Limited. This is my first video pretty much ever. I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be a bit scuffy since this is my first video, but we are going to talk about the top 5 reasons why you should be playing Paladin and some intricacies about the class as well that I've learned over time. So, I hope you enjoy this video, like and subscribe, and we should get into it. So, Paladin at the moment I think is in a really good state at the moment in War Within for the one reason, which is the first reason I'm going to talk about, is that we have two great builds to heal from. So with the introduction of hero talents, we basically got Herald of the Sun and we got Lightsmith. Now when this came out, Herald of the Sun was infinitely better than Lightsmith. However, with changes to Lightsmith, basically Lightsmith is, you could argue, become the meta spec. But both are extremely viable in all content, high and low. You can play Herald of the Sun on 10s and over, if not 10s and over, but I'm 10s and over, I mean you can do 13, 14s, and Lightsmith exactly the same. But what I love about these specs is that how they play uniquely. They're very, very unique in the ways they play. There are similarities, which I'm going to show you now. So the first similarity is with Holy Paladin, you build Holy Power to either do damage or to heal. You have a choice to make, meaning when you have enough Holy Power, you either choose to heal or choose to damage, which is very unique to the spec. So we just go to the dummy here, and we get off our thing. So we build Holy Power. As you can see, these 3 dots here, these 2 things. Once you have 3, that means you can deal damage or Holy Power, right? Or healing. Now, I'm going to talk about Herald of the Sun and how it works. Now, the overall arching playstyle of Paladin, this is for both, is you basically use Crusader Strike, Judgment, Holy Light, Holy Shock, and Holy Shock to build your Holy Power. And when you have 3, you either choose damage or heal. So you can use either, where are they? You can either use Light of Dawn, which is your AoE, or Word of Glory, which is, where I can't find it. Where's my Word of Glory? It's going to probably be here. Yeah, Word of Glory. Let me just get that here. Or you use Word of Glory. This obviously changes when you become a Herald of the Sun, but that's basically the play style, and it's all about spot healing. Obviously there are nuances to it, but it's all about spot healing. Now, that's the basic. With Herald of the Sun, basically, where the uniqueness is 2 things. It's within wings and 1 thing without. With Herald of the Sun, your Word of Glory obviously changes to, where is it? Eternal Flame, which is basically a heal with an heal over time, and that's the difference. But it's still the same gameplay. But what else is different is your Holy Prism. So when you press Holy Prism, you get your Divine Purpose, and then you can heal again. That is the one big difference when it comes to playing this spec. There are other things that you can do. I'm not going to go too much into it. This is just an introduction into why you should play it. I'm just telling you the big picture, not the small little intricate pictures. That's the one image. That's the one difference, basically. The other difference is wings. Now, I'm just going to show you. You see these lights? They can connect to damage, or they can connect to your team and heal. And that is the big difference with wings and Lightsmith. It still plays the same. You still heal as you would with using Holy Power in order to heal, right? But that is the big difference. Now, that's how you heal. There are other things you can do, but that's how he heals. It's a 2-minute cooldown. Wings is massively good when it comes to Herald of the Sun. They're your traditional, really strong wings, and that's how they play, right? Now, Lightsmith. So, Lightsmith plays differently. And this is what I love about it. So, oh my gosh, I have a minute until. So, I'll show you how Lightsmith plays differently. It plays the exact same thing outside of wings, bar one difference as well, which I'll get into once this goes off cooldown. Which is a bit annoying because now we have to wait a minute. But the one thing is, obviously, we'll talk about the spells here. So, the talents is... let's activate this quickly just so I can show you. So, there's one major difference with it, and that's your armament. So... when this came out, the only armament that really was interesting was your Holy Bulwark. Your sacred weapon basically just gave damage. It didn't really do much else than just gave damage. It didn't even matter who you wanted to be on. However, that's changed with this one, Tempered in Battle. When you or an ally wield a Holy Bulwark or healed above maximum health, transfer 100% of the ODV to your ally. So that's with your shield, which is massive. So any overhealing you do to that character, let's say for one, like because for any reason whatsoever, it transfers to someone else. So it basically takes a lot of overhealing and puts it into pure healing, which is great. But then the big one is when you or your ally wielding a sacred weapon drop below 40% health, redistribute health immediately and every 1 sec for 4 seconds. This is massive. So this means that if someone drops below 40% health and they have the weapon on them, you start transferring health to them. So it effectively is, in my opinion, like another cooldown you can use for a massive dot in a Mythic Plus key or a massive dot in a raid. So I'm using this in 12s when there's a massive dot, and I think City of Threads is pretty hard ones. I'm putting this on people and it helps me. It helps me grandly. But that's the massive difference when it comes to outside of Wings Lightsmith, is that you're using your armaments to basically boost your damage, but also to heal and to survive as well. The other difference is Hammer and Anvil. Now, this works amazingly in Avenging Crusader, and that's the massive difference when it comes to the spec. So, we'll quickly go into Herald. Now, Herald of the Sun basically transfers your Crusader Strike and Judgment into healing. So you damage in order to heal. And that is the massive difference when it comes to Herald of the Sun and when it comes to Lightsmith. Yes, Herald of the Sun, you're still damaging, but you're taking that holy power and putting it into healing. Whereas here, when you're in Crusader, when you're in Avenging Crusader, all you're doing is damage in order to heal. So, for instance, the big difference now is this. So when you go into Avenging Crusader, you technically don't want to use your holy power unless you really need to spot heal someone. But you should never be using your holy power inside of Avenging Crusader. You should just be trying to prioritize Judgment and Crusader Strike. And the reason for Judgment is this. This is extremely potent and extremely overpowered at the moment. Judgment critical strikes cause a shockwave around the target, dealing 500k healing at the target's location. When you crit this in Avenging Crusader, you basically put everyone to full. Pretty much. I mean, it's every time this happens, you are putting everyone to full. What's really nice is the procs you get from where is it? From Awakening. When this procs, you are guaranteed to get that to hit, by the way. So when this procs and you use that Crusader that Judgment, this will proc every time. So you effectively, every time you get the 15 stacks, get that massive heal. But I'll show you how the spec runs. So it's 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna use damage again. Down. Now I'm gonna use Holy Shock because I'm on lane. And then you just do this. This is how it's unique from playing from Herald of the Sun. You are effectively only just using your Avenging Crusader, and that's why I love this spec, because that is effectively the uniqueness of it. Now, what I want to show you is the difference and why I love it too. So let's just go into thing. So this is the same fight. This is Sikran on 8C, which I did. Ignore the timers and everything. I just want to show you the healing profile. Look at the healing profile of Sikran. These passes, I think, are around 80, 90 somewhere, so they're not perfect. But this is Herald of the Sun. Your damage, your healers are Eternal Flame, Holy Shock, Beacon of Light, Light at Dawn, and Dawnlight, which is your big, which is part of your hero spec. Let's go to Lightsmith. How different is that? Your first 3 is Judgment, Avenging Crusader, Holy Bulwark, there's Sacred Weapon, there's some Holy Shock, and there is not really a lot of Word of Glories there. And this is what I love about the class. So different healing profiles, but both can be used at a relatively high level, if not the highest level. There is a really, really good paladin called Ellismere, and he's proven that you can use this, you can use Light at Dawn, you can use Herald of the Sun, and you can use Lightsmith with absolute ease, to be honest, on both specs. So I just wanted to show you, and that's one of the reasons, or the top reason, you should be playing Paladin. You have flexibility in how you want to heal, which is massive. So, number 2. Now, some people may not agree with this, I'm not sure, but the Paladin way of healing is great for pugs, in my opinion. The reason I say that is that you are a reactive healing. Yes, it's going to be set up for big damage. So, for instance, if a fight requires you to do a lot of AoE healing, at a point you need to set up. But if things go awry in a fight, if you have the cooldowns, paladins can recover extremely well in those positions because of things like wings, divine toll, blessing of sacrifice, bubble. I find in a lot of pugs, things will be going really badly. However, I can recover from them amazingly well. Now, there are other classes that can do this. I'm sure they can. But, for instance, Discipline Priest excels in an organized group. Whereas Paladin does excel in any group would excel from an organized group. However, I feel as if from a pug's perspective, you have a lot of utility. You have a lot of tools at your hand to quickly react to that big damage. Lay on Hands is another great example of, oh, you just taken 95% of your health you shouldn't have. Lay on Hands that guy. Oh, I can see that you have taken aggro because the tank has died for one reason. Blessing of Protection. You know, Bulwarks also, they're great reactive healers when it's needed, right? So definitely something to look out for if you want to play it. This one, I think, this is very personal to me, but all content can be done and enjoyed by a Holy Paladin. Now, when I play as a Resto Druid or anything like that, and I'm doing world content, I don't feel amazingly strong. I know I can heal, but my damage is not as good as if I was a kitty or a boomkin, right? As a paladin, it is the same. I won't lie, you're not doing as much damage as a Retribution Paladin. But I feel like it still can be enjoyable. You still feel like you are playing the fantasy of what you're doing nearly. I don't know how to explain. Well, let me explain. Like, you still are doing damage. You're still doing damage. You're still healing. You're still using that holy power as either heal or damage. But in world content, you're mostly going to use damage. And that's what I love about it. It doesn't really change the way you play when you're doing world content versus, let's say, raid or anything. In the sense of you're still doing the same thing over and over again. Whereas maybe as another class, you're obviously using damage a lot more. But you're not you're not going to be using the same rotation or anything. You're just going to be doing damage. In my opinion, Paladins, because you're using the same rotations, the same spells effectively, because of Holy Shock, because that's damage or healing, it feels a lot more fun to play within the world. It feels a lot more fantasy-based, because you are literally running into the world and taking on everything as this battle-hardened Holy Paladin that does damage but also is in the thick of things. And I feel as if that works well in the world, other than other specs where maybe like a Holy Priest would struggle to actually do stuff in a very fun and natural way. This is very personal, but I feel as if because you're using Holy Power the same way you would if you were healing, the only difference is you're doing more damage, it feels good in content. So that's it. One more thing is looking. So that was, I've actually lost my thing. So that's the third part. So the fourth is utility. Paladins have great utility. They have a lot of spells that they can use to a lot of spells that are used to basically help the dungeon. So the biggest one is Blessing of Sacrifice. You take 30% of damage from a tank or someone taking a lot of damage. That in itself is amazing as a utility spec. Blessing of Protection can come in handy in a lot of dungeons at the moment that is doing AoE physical health. But it's also great, like, if someone if takes aggro, tank dies, you want to recover the pull, like I said, you Blessing of Protection that person, and then you literally raise the tank, stuff like that. The Bulwarks are great utility as well from a healing perspective, because you can choose who you put it on, which is really good. Lay on Hands, once again, a massive heal. This is only a 7-minute cooldown, is reduced in Lightsmith, so that's great. Blessing of Freedom, to free people from doing from movement impairing effects or CCs. Blinding Lights is also a really good AoE, utility spell. So from a utility side, there's a lot of things we add to a dungeon. Not to mention, we have Devotion Aura, which is 3% reduced damage. Maybe not the best global we have, or the global buff we have, but definitely one that's really good. So that's just some of the things why I think they're really good. They're unique in the way that they have a lot of things they can do. They may not excel in all of it. So for instance, we may not be the best at damage mitigation, but we have something to help that. We have something to help all situations if given the cooldown, which I think is really good. So that's it. I thought I had another one, but I don't. I said it's a unique healing style unlike other healers, but I have to admit that most healers have the unique healing style. So I can't really say that. But I think the way, if you want to play, and this is the top 5, this is the 5th one. If you want to play someone in the thick of things, that is in the heat of the battle, you feel as if you're in there meleeing, damaging, but throwing out heals here and there, feeling powerful, Healing Paladins for you, Holy Paladins for you. It feels good to run in, especially in Lightsmith, where you run in, you pop your consecration, you pop your wings, and you just go absolutely ham on the boss or on the ads, because you're healing through that, and it feels really good. And if you haven't enough armaments on, you can do some really good damage. So I would say that the top 5 is if you are the type of person that wants to be not be in the background, be in the front, being there, helping your teammates, I would say this is the spec for you. I would, however, suggest if you are new to healing, maybe not the best spec to go, just because of how different it is to traditional healing in WoW. But I would say if you want to be that person in the front line, definitely the one to go for. So those are my top 5 reasons. My 5th reason, maybe not so good, but I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoy Paladin. There was more I wanted to say, but I'll keep that for another video. It was pretty much a do's and don'ts. But top 5 reasons why you want to play Paladin. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna upload it. I'm gonna upload it as soon as possible. But if you are ever not busy, please come to my stream at www.twitch.tv/ResponseLimited. Like and subscribe my page. I have a TikTok as well, Response Limited, and this YouTube. So have a lovely day, guys. All the best, and I'll see you on the next one.